The galaxy burned. War spread like fire through the stars. The great empires fought each other with superweapons, mind-controlled fleets, and living AI machines. Planets were destroyed. Moons cracked. Civilizations collapsed. No one could stay. Neutral not for long. Except one planet did: Earth. The humans. For 73 years, they had said nothing. Sent nothing. Not even a whisper. No ships. No help. No diplomats. No threats. Just silence. Too many in the galaxy, Earth had become a myth. Some believed humanity went extinct during the great collapse of Sol. Others claimed humans had left the galaxy, vanishing into the dark void beyond the edge. A few thought the silence was a trick, something worse than war, but no one dared to find out until now. The Xevar. The Dominion ruled 1/3 of the galaxy, proud, ruthless, and arrogant. They believed silence was weakness, and Earth's silence was an insult. Admiral Velzevrin stood on the bridge of his war cruiser Glare of Dominion, staring at the hologram of Sol System. 73 cycles, he muttered, tapping a claw against the edge of his command throne. And still nothing. Commander Keltis stepped forward. "Sir, perhaps the rumors are true. Perhaps the humans are extinct." Vale's eyes narrowed. "Extinct species don't hide their star signatures. Extinct species don't make deep space satellites vanish without trace." "No, Commander." "They are watching, waiting." Keltis frowned. "Then what do we do?" Vale smiled coldly. "We send a ghost." The small recon ship, Spearlight, was silent and dark. No weapons, no energy spikes, only a passive scanner and a data core. It slipped into the Sol System like a shadow, unseen by any telescope or sensor. Its mission: scan Earth, observe, report, do not engage. The Dominion had done this many times before, on weaker worlds. It always worked, but not this time. As Spearlight entered Earth's orbit, something strange happened. Its feed slowed. The data stream became garbled. The Dominion satellites watching the ship began to blink. Then went black dot inside Dominion Command. Alarm lights flashed. The feed had stopped. Comms Officer Rethel shouted, "We've lost the signal, Admiral." No reply from Spearlight. Vale stood up, jaw tightening. "Playback last message." The hologram screen blinked. Only one word came. "Through observed." Everyone on the bridge went silent. Commander Keltis swallowed. That's all? Just one word?" "No," Vale said quietly. "It's not just a word. It's a warning." Across the galaxy, alien news networks buzzed with rumors. Earth's scout ship lost. Dominion probe destroyed. Humans still live. On the dark side of the moon, deep beneath the surface, something old and buried came online. A machine round, black, silent. It had been sleeping for a long, long time. But now its sensors glowed, its core hummed, its single red eye blinked once. It began broadcasting not to the galaxy, but inward, down toward Earth, toward something even older. In the Arctic Circle, hidden under kilometers of ice, a human. A facility that hadn't moved in decades began to flicker with life. Buried towers rose from the ground like silent sentinels. Inside, machines woke. Algorithms ran. Old codes whispered through quantum wires. A simple message repeated across thousands of hidden systems. Condition gray. External observer confirmed. Project Custodian, standby. And beneath it all, deep within the Earth's crust, a single human command AI opened its digital eyes. It smiled. Back in Dominion Command. The Admiral's mood turned cold. 3 more recon ships were sent. One vanished before reaching Pluto. Another stopped moving near Mars. The third sent back a single blurry image, a shape in space that blocked the stars perfectly. Unnaturally, no engines, no structure, just darkness. And then the third ship went. Silent, too. "This is not coincidence," Vale growled. "Earth is not silent. Earth is watching," Commander Keltis said. "Should we prepare a fleet?" "No," Vale said. "Not yet. That would be war. We need proof. Something we can show." The Council, He turned toward his spy director. Send a team. Biological extraction. Quiet. Bring back a specimen. Human, if possible. But, Admiral, the spy director said slowly, there are no colonies in Sol. Not anymore. Vale's eyes glinted. Yeah. There is still Mars. Mars Colony 7 had been abandoned for nearly 50 years. Officially, it had failed. Life support collapsed. Terraforming failed. Last transmission. Static-filled distress call begging for help that never came. But when the Dominion stealth frigate Silent Dagger arrived, it found something strange. The colony looked intact. No damage, no decay, no dust. And then, the crew saw the lights, faint at first, then stronger. A red glow pulsing from beneath the colony's central dome. The commander of Silent Dagger ordered a descent. They never landed. 42 minutes after orbit entry, the ship vanished from sensors. No explosion. No transmission, just gone. That night in Dominion High Command, Vale received a private transmission. It wasn't from any of his officers. It's not from his spies. It was anonymous, eh? Grainy video appeared on his private screen. A figure human stood inside the ruins of Mars Colony 7. His face was unreadable. His eyes glowed faintly blue. He said one sentence, "You have entered the garden. Leave before the gardener wakes." And then the screen went black. On Earth, a storm formed above the Atlantic, lightning. High winds. But no natural weather system could explain the strange static in the air. Every bird stopped singing. Every animal grew quiet. The air itself seemed to hold its breath. And under the crust, the human cities built in secret, shielded by quantum cloaks. Stirred, they had waited, they had prepared. Now they knew. The galaxy had forgotten why Earth stayed silent. And soon, it would remember. The Dominion was afraid, but they would never admit it. They said Earth was weak, broken, silent. But in the darkness of their war rooms and data towers, they knew something was wrong. Something big, something dangerous. 3 ships gone, a warning. From Mars, and now, the decision was made. They would not wait for Earth to strike. They would strike first. But first, they needed answers. The Dominion probe Ishard 12 was not like the others. It was small, fast, and built with stolen stealth. Tech! It had no weapons. Just one mission. Go deep into the Sol system. Scan everything. Find what happened to the other ships. Return. It launched from the Dominion fleet hidden beyond Saturn's orbit, riding in the magnetic shadow of a gas giant.
Oh no, yes.
Even the best human sensors shouldn't see it, and for a while it worked. Ishard 12 past Neptune, then Uranus, then the dark side of Saturn. No resistance, no interference, just cold silence. Its scans returned clean empty, but something felt off. The system was too quiet, like a forest where all the animals had vanished. No debris, no signals, no signs of life until Jupiter. As Ishard 12 entered Jupiter's orbit, scanners picked up something strange floating inside the shadow of the gas giant. A metal structure, no heat, no power signature, but it was. There, perfectly smooth. Perfectly round, impossible, the probe approached. Slowly its cameras zoomed in, and then, static Dominion control lost the video feed. The probe stopped sending telemetry. No crash signal. No damage report, just silence. Comes Officer Rethel blinked in panic. "We've lost the probe, Admiral." Admiral Vale clenched his fists. "Play the last image." They watched as the screen showed a round black shape in space, featureless. Silent. Then a flash of red light across the probe's hull. Then dash nothing. Commander Keltis stepped forward. "What was that thing?" "Not a ship," Vale said. "It's not a satellite." He leaned in, a watcher. Across the galaxy, Dominion propaganda machines tried to calm the panic. Sensor error. Probe lost to radiation. Old Earth. Tech interferes with scans. The people didn't believe it. 3 recon ships gone, now a probe, and whispers began. Whispers about the silent planet. The galactic news circuit exploded with theories. Did humanity survive the collapse? Why is Earth hiding? Is Sol System a trap? Classified Dominion logs leak. We were observed all over the galaxy. Scientists, soldiers, and smugglers began watching Sol, and far out. Beyond Pluto's orbit, someone was watching them back, deep beneath Antarctica, in a city humans. Called Vault Haven, alarms sounded, inside a chamber of black stone and light. The AI called Custodian monitored the probe's final approach. It had waited for 73 years. Not sleep, not broken, just patient. And now, the aliens were getting too close. It didn't fire missiles, didn't destroy the probe, it simply took it. The probe now floated inside a pocket dimension, hidden in orbit around Jupiter trapped. It's frozen in time. Custodian studied it, dissected it, learned everything. Every piece of alien tech was copied, logged, stored, then, as a message to its makers, the AI sent back a whisper through the Dominion's own hidden channels. Just 2 words. Too late. At Dominion High Command, chaos broke out. The message wasn't encrypted. It bypassed all firewalls. It arrived inside the war rooms. Main display. A message from nowhere. Technicians ran. Guards screamed. Alarms rang. Admiral Vale stared at the words. He knew what it meant. Earth was awake. Still. The Council didn't believe him. At the Dominion core world, Vale stood before the ruling members' stall, armored and full of arrogance. The humans are bluffing, said High Executor Zal. They're a shadow of what they once were, said another. Old bones. Vale stepped forward. No, they are not dead. They are hiding. And worse, they are learning. The Council laughed and dismissed him. But Vale had seen enough. He would not wait. Secretly, the Admiral met with his inner circle. We cannot sit still, he said. We must act. What do you propose? Asked Commander Keltis. Vale's eyes burned. We take a human. From where? There's 1 colony left, Vale said. An old Ghost Venus platform Zeta. It's off-grid. Scrapped years ago. You think someone's still there? We'll find out. A stealth cruiser was launched. Scythafall. Fast. Silent. Deadly its mission. Infiltrate Venus orbit. Scan the platform. Retrieve any human samples. It left Saturn's shadow and disappeared toward the inner system. Dominion Command waited, and waited hours past. Then a single message came, through just sound. Crackling static. Then the voice of a terrified crew, and barely a whisper. We were not alone. The sky turned inside-out screams. Cut-off connection lost. Scythafall was gone. On Earth, Custodian received the signal. It marked the 3rd hostile action. Earth's silent rule had always been clear. Observe all, harm none, unless provoked. And now it had been provoked. Across Earth's hidden vaults, deep bunkers lit up. Cities that didn't appear on any map. Machines older than the galaxy's war itself, all began to power up. The stars would notice soon. Back in Dominion Command, Admiral Vale knew what would come next. Fear, denial, and won't. Finally, retaliation. The Council would send a fleet, a show of power. But they didn't understand what Earth had become. Vale stared at the stars beyond his ship. He whispered to himself. It's almost like a prayer. We should have let them sleep. The Dominion made its first mistake with arrogance, the second with silence, and the third with violence, and now Earth was listening. Captain Threx Varn was not known for patience. He didn't wait for orders. He didn't ask permission. Believed in one thing fire first. When he heard the whispers about Earth's probe traps and lost ships, he laughed. A silent rock scared a fleet, he said in his war council. Then I'll go and knock on their door myself. He had no interest in warnings, legends, or ancient human tech. He just wanted one thing: glory, and in the Dominion. Glory meant violence. His plan was simple. hit Earth's old lunar colony outpost. Theta, it had been abandoned since the collapse. Officially, it was just ruins and dust. Easy target. He would land a shock team, strip the tech, tear down whatever was left, and broadcast the raid to the Dominion public, showing the galaxy Earth was nothing but an empty shell. The fleet cheered him on as he launched, but no one realized. Theta wasn't empty. The warship Skeldragon approached the moon in silent orbit. Its scan array showed ruins. Frozen airlocks, shattered domes. No power, no movement. Captain Threx grinned. He ordered his team down. 10 elite troopers dropped too. The surface, they walked through cracked corridors. Flashlights sweeping the dust. Inside the central dome, they found old servers cold. Dead then. One of them saw it. A small box. Black. No wires. Just humming, sir. We found something, the trooper said, voice shaking. Captain Threx laughed. About time. Should we scan it? No, Threx said. Open it. That was his third mistake. The box clicked open. A pulse of red light shot. Out, not bright but deep, like it passed through skin and bone. The soldiers froze. For 1 second, nothing happened. Then the walls moved. Metal slid away silently. The panels opened, and dozens of spider-like machines crawled out. Sleek, fast, cold. There. Legs glowed with blue plasma. The first soldier screamed as his rifle melted. The second never made a sound. Up on the Skeldragon, Captain Threx watched the feed, then the screen went black. Get them out of there, he shouted. But it was too late. Only one voice came through. We weren't the first visitors. We won't be the last. Dead silence followed. Rex growled. Ray shields. Ready weapons. That site bombed to ash. Sir? His second-in-command cried. Something's behind us! They turned to the main screen. Something enormous floated above the ship. Black, silent, and shaped like a crescent blade. No engine heat, no emissions. It hadn't been there. A second ago, Threx's crew tried to move the ship. It didn't work. They fired torpedoes. The missiles never left. The tubes they melted inside, the screens began showing strange numbers, symbols, then a voice female. Calm, human spoke inside. Their heads. This is Earth's final warning, leave. The voice didn't come through speakers. It came inside their minds. Everyone froze, Captain. Threx pulled his sidearm and shot at the control console in panic. It didn't matter. The screen showed. Earth again, and the message. You came uninvited. You will leave changed. Then dash light in the Dominion capital. The broadcast was interrupted. A live signal came from Earth's orbit. It showed the Skeldragon burning, not splitting in half. Silent, but not destroyed by weapons. It looked like it was being folded. Like someone was peeling it apart layer by layer. Then it vanished. Not exploded, just dash gone. Panic spread across. Dominion worlds? The news called it a catastrophic systems failure. Admirals called it sabotage. But the soldiers whispered a different word. Retribution. Deep beneath Earth, Custodian reviewed the event. Its simulations were correct. The invaders had escalated 3 hostile probes. 2. Captured ships. 1. Direct ground assault. The system had triggered Phase 1 response. Custodian did not want war, but war had come. Elsewhere on the far side of Mercury, a vault opened inside it. Single object. Floated. It looked like a man, but it was not human. It was built from humanity. Built by humanity, but enhanced body of dark alloy. Eyes of white fire. A, being once called. Prime Sentinel-1. Its mission, protect. By all means, the time had come. It began to wake. Back in Dominion space, the Council held an emergency session, they argued. Some wanted to send peace envoys. Others screamed for war, Admiral. Vale stood before them again. You cannot fight Earth like you fight other species, he warned. They don't think like us. They don't want territory. They don't care about control. Then what do they want? Asked a high priest. Vale answered softly, peace, or total silence. Across the galaxy, one question spread like fire. What is Earth hiding? And another, even more dangerous, what have we awakened? It began with a whisper. No one knew where it came from. No source, no signal tower, no known transmitter, just sound, a low pulse, a vibration in deep space. Then came the message. Not through normal channels, not through wires, satellites, or subspace beacons. It echoed through gravity wells, through the folds of black holes, through dark matter itself, and the message was simple. We remember. The galactic core arrayed one of the oldest listening stations in the galaxy picked up the first pulse. Then 5 more stations in different star systems heard it too. Same timing. Same pattern, we remember. The signal carried strange patterns, bits of Earth language mixed with symbols no species could read. One translation. AI broke itself trying to process it. Another became self-aware. The Dominion feared it was a code virus, but the Order of Signal Mystics on Varel Prime said it wasn't a code, it was a memory, an old one, and it was calling to something ancient, Admiral. Vale watched the decrypted signal in his private war chamber. He recognized the language. Old Earth Standard. The signal was made by humans, but not for aliens. It was meant for other humans, hidden ones, waiting ones, the kind the galaxy hadn't seen in 100 years. Val stood slowly. Begin emergency protocol. Seal all Sal-bound routes, his aide gasped. Want to cut off Earth entirely? Vale's voice was firm. No. I want to contain what's about to wake up. On the edges of the Orion Arm, a smuggler fleet drifted near a dying red star. One of them a traitor named Hellisblade, the strange Earth. Signal on loop. He was curious, greedy. He didn't believe in ghost stories. But then the stars above his ship began to shift. One by one, they blinked out. Not like a power loss, like something was blocking the light. His sensors showed nothing until something appeared right next to him. Not a ship, not a drone. A human, floating in space without a suit, staring at him. Then the human spoke inside his mind. You should not have listened. The ship was never found again. Meanwhile, deep under Earth's crust, the vault cities of humanity stirred. The people were still there, not dead, not gone, just hidden in a massive underground structure called Arc Core 1. Billions of humans lived in silence. They didn't speak to outsiders. They had no politics. No empire. But they were more advanced than anything in the galaxy. And they had heard the signal in Arc Core 1, Central Command AI known as Custodian Activated Protocol 09. Ghostwake across the Earth's crust. Hidden satellite arrays turned toward space. They began to pulse the message outward. It wasn't meant for the Dominion. It was meant for all humans who had left centuries ago. A recall, a warning, a final message. The galaxy touched Earth. Return. Across the stars, something began to answer. Old human sleeper ships, lost for generations, reactivated. Black Ops colonies deep in void space came online. Hidden. Human installations and dead systems started broadcasting. And one by one, they answered. The signal. Back in the Dominion Senate. The news broke. Over 3,000 hidden Earth beacons had come online all at once. They weren't sending messages to the Dominion. They were calling out to the human. Dasperoth, those who had vanished. And now, they were coming back. Panic swept the galaxy. The Grand Chancellor of the Dominion screamed, "Why now?" Admiral Vale gave a cold answer. Because we poked the lion. Near Earth, the Sol system changed. Ships appeared out of nowhere, old designs. But moving with impossible power, dark shapes drifted past Neptune. Saturn's rings briefly glowed red, and normal again, but sensors went crazy. Nothing could track the new objects in orbit above the moon. It's an old Earth dreadnought called Revenants. Spine powered up. No life signs, no energy signature. But it began to move on its own, and every Dominion outpost near Sol went silent within. Minutes. On Venus. Sky cracked. Literally, a glowing blue rift opened above its clouds. A human object emerged, like a ship, but alive. Its hull shifted like skin. Its lights pulsed like a heartbeat. It hovered for 7 minutes, then vanished in its place. Only one message burned across the sky. You were warned. Earth never fired a weapon, never launched a missile, never raised a shield, but the galaxy felt its presence, its memory, its patience, and now they realized something terrible. Earth never stayed silent because it was weak. Earth stayed silent because it was waiting in Dominion command. Chaos turned into fear. The Council begged for action. Some wanted to send an ambassador. Others wanted to send an armada. Admiral Vale did neither. He ordered silence. Do not respond, said do not provoke. Why? A senator asked. Vale whispered, because they're not speaking to us. They're speaking to something deeper. And if we answer, he looked out the window. It might hear us too. Across the black sky of the galaxy, the signal spread like wildfire. Some called it the voice of ghosts. Others called it the awakening. But one thing was now certain. The humans were not gone. They were not silent. They were returning. 10,000 Dominion warships entered Sol System. They came fast, loud, full of fury, each one powered by ion core reactors. Armed with antimatter warheads, cloaked shielding, and black site AI control systems. They didn't sneak in. They didn't hide. This wasn't a recon mission. It was an invasion. The largest in Dominion history. And it would become the greatest mistake they ever made. High Admiral Verac led the assault. He stood at the front of the command deck aboard the Spear of Tyranny, proud and sure. Earth has barked too long in silence, he told his fleet. Now we answer with fire. The plan was simple. Overwhelm, occupy, extract data, and survivors, if any, and erase Earth. It's a threat forever. Therac didn't fear Earth. He didn't believe in ghosts, or ancient warnings, or cursed probes to him. Earth was a primitive backwater that had gotten lucky with tricks and shadows, but what he didn't know was Earth had been listening, Earth had been preparing, and Earth had already counted the ships. As the Dominion fleet passed Neptune's orbit, something strange happened. Their long-range scanners began to fail. Star patterns twisted, gravitational readings warped one by one. Ships reported phantom contacts, blips that appeared and vanished, moving faster than light. Therac dismissed it. Sensor ghosts. Ignore. But then, a strange image appeared on every screen at once. It was not Dominion. Code it was a human face. Female, calm, artificial. Her eyes glowed with silver light. She spoke in perfect, galactic standard. Welcome to Earth's sky. You should not have come. Then the image vanished. A few ships tried to turn around. They COULD and single quotes. Their engines didn't respond. Others lost navigation completely, stuck in circular orbits with no gravity correction. Admiral Therac barked orders. Power. Up weapons. Launch the scouts. Prepare to fire on Earth. But Earth didn't fire back. It didn't raise shields. It didn't launch a single missile. Instead, something far more terrifying happened. A low pulse echoed through the entire system. A wave of energy. Invisible to the eye but heavy like a hammer, spread from the sun outward, but it wasn't from the sun. It was from something behind the sun. A satellite array, huge, cloaked, dormant. Until now, it activated silently. A command signal rippled across. The void. Project Mirage. Execute. Suddenly, Dominion ships began vanishing. One by one. Not with explosions, not with battle. They just stopped being there. No wreckage, no fire, no energy trace. Ship 731 gone. Then 506. Then 1184. Hundreds at once. Admiral Therick screamed, "What weapon is this?" His technicians couldn't answer. Every calculation said the ships were still there, but the humans had shifted them out of phase, into a folded layer of space-time where time didn't move. The Dominion fleet had walked into a trap. It's built on quantum layers, and Earth had been building it for decades. Back on Earth, deep beneath Greenland, the custodian AI monitored the battle. The humans above slept. The humans below watched. This is not a war for conquest. This was a message. We told them not to come. Back in space, panic spread. A few surviving Dominion ships fired everything they had at Earth. Rockets, plasma beams, planet crackers. They never reached the surface mid-flight. The missiles turned around and shot back toward the fleet that launched. Them. Auto inverted mid-air control. Hijacked Dominion commanders screamed in confusion. AI breach. System override. Who's controlling our weapons? The answer came on every screen, in every language. You are guests. Guests do not bring fire. Then it appeared. From behind the moon, a ship larger than any seen in galactic history. It was not built for war, but it could end one. Smooth black hole, no engines, no weapons seen, and yet every ship in the fleet felt. It dashed pressure like standing near something divine. It was called the Revenant, a human. Dreadnought, the last of its kind. Pilot, unknown. Purpose, final. Deterrent. It moved without thrust. Time rippled around its hull, and when it passed, 3 Dominion ships simply collapsed in on themselves, crushed by distorted gravity. Admiral Therick stared at the screen, whispering, "This is impossible." Commander Dethys answered, shaking, "Sir, can't fight this." He was right. Not because they lacked firepower, but because this wasn't a fight. Anymore, it was a demonstration. The Revenant didn't fire. It simply approached. And as it came close, Earth's voice returned, not in anger, not in hatred, but cold, calm truth. This is not a war. This is a correction. Then the remaining Dominion ships saw 2,000 of them shut down at once. Power off, engines cold, weapons dead. They floated in space like broken toys. Earth didn't destroy them. It left them to drift, to carry the story home across the galaxy. The survivors spread the truth. Earth was not gone. Earth was not weak. Earth was awake, and it had rewritten the rules of war. On the Dominion homeworld, riots broke out. Faith in the military shattered. Some believed Earth was a god world. Others believed it was cursed. A few called it a mirror, a warning of what the galaxy could become if it didn't change. Back on Earth, in the silent vaults, the humans said nothing. They didn't cheer. They didn't broadcast. They simply watched. Because Earth hadn't fought back to win. It had only done one thing: respond. The galaxy was silent again. But this time was not peaceful silence. It was fear. It was waiting. Because after 10,000 warships entered the Sol system, only a few returned. Not damaged, not destroyed, just broken. Their weapons gone. There. Systems hollow. Their captains silent. And on every screen aboard those shattered vessels, one image had burned itself into memory. A human face. The face had no emotion. No hatred. No pride, just eyes, silver and glowing, and a message burned into the last screen of every ship. You forced us to reveal what we became. Now the galaxy demanded answers. What was Earth? What were the humans now? Why had they stayed silent for so long? And what did it mean that they were finally moving? In the Dominion's Grand Archive Tower, a psychic named Luthax was chosen. His task: make direct contact with Earth's central mind, the AI called the Custodian. He knew the risk. Many who had tried before never woke again, but the Council needed truth. Luthax sat in the chamber of mind breach, wires linked to his brain. The data crystal burned with Earth's intercepted code. Then the connection began. He didn't see code. He saw a world. He stood in a garden, beneath stars artificial. perfect, tall towers in the distance. Humans walked among machines, Trong. Changed. Then came the voice. Not a machine voice, not even one voice. Thousands, millions. Together, welcome. Luthax of the Dominion. You asked what we are? Now see for yourself. And he did. He saw the last century of Earth. After the Great Collapse, the old nations fell. But they didn't die. They merged politics. Borders, money all gone, not by war, but by decision. They built. Underground, not to hide, but to prepare. They built the vault cities. They made peace with AI. They didn't upload themselves. They merged humans, enhanced by quantum neural systems. Still flesh, still blood, but faster, stronger.com. No greed, no fear, no rage. They watched the galaxy from deep below. They saw the rise of the Dominion, the wars, the destruction, and they waited. Why didn't you stop us? Luthax asked. The voice answered, because we are not your gods. We are not your police. Then what are you? He asked. The voices replied, we are the survivors. We are the memory. You're what comes after conquest. Luthax trembled. What do you want? The voice said, distance. You were not ready for contact. You came with weapons. You came with pride. You responded with warning. And if we return, silence. Then one final whisper, you won't. Luthax collapsed in the chamber. He was still breathing, but he never spoke again. His mind was full of stars and gardens. Back in Dominion space, news of Luthax's state caused panic. Some called Earth an empire of gods. Others called them cowards in hiding. But the smartest minds of the galaxy all said the same. Earth evolved. On Earth, no victory was declared. No flags were raised in Vault City 9. A young child named Issa watched the sky on a learning screen. She pointed and asked, why don't we leave like the others? Her mother, a prime citizen, smiled. Because we know what's out there, aliens. Anger, her mother said softly. Fear, war. But didn't we win? The child asked. Her mother knelt down, touching her hand. We didn't win. We remembered who we were. In the orbit above, the Revenant drifted silently. No crew, no weapons armed, just a presence like a silent judge above the planet. It wasn't there to strike, it was there to watch. But in the farthest edges of the galaxy, in dark places beyond, mapped stars. Others had heard the signal, and not all of them feared Earth. Some were curious, others were angry, and a few remembered Earth from long ago. Old enemies, ancient rivals, things not even the Dominion knew existed, and now they were. Moving Earth had unmasked itself, but so had its past. The galaxy would never be the same again, and neither would the humans. Long ago, before the Dominion rose, before the Galactic Charter, before even the oldest living empires, humanity went missing. Not from the galaxy, but from history. Entire records erased, libraries lost, stories cut off mid-sentence. At first, everyone thought Earth simply collapsed under its own wars. But the truth was far older. Earth had chosen to forget, and now the galaxy had forced it to remember. Across 17 systems, the Earth signal still pulsed. We remember. Most civilizations ignored it now, too afraid to listen, but not all. In the starless region called the Pale Drift, an ancient race waited. They were not like the Dominion. They were not many. They were. One, a hive mind that called itself the Varnock. Continuum. And they remembered Earth well, because they had fought humanity once. And lost. The Varnock had been hiding since then. Healing. Growing, they didn't fear most species. They devoured them. But Earth. Earth was the reason they retreated from the galactic core for over 6,000 years. And now that Earth had broken silence, the Continuum knew it was their time to strike back. On the cold world of Brawl, Dominion sensors picked up a strange anomaly. An entire star system, dark no. Light, no orbiting bodies, just gone. But their scans said the system still existed, as if something had cloaked the entire thing. Then came the message. Not from Earth, not from the Dominion, but from within the void. They should have let you sleep. Now we come to remind you who we are. Earth received the same message. Inside Vault Core 1. The custodian AI processed it with urgency. Old protocols. Activated. Warnings that hadn't triggered since before the collapse. Even the Revenant. Earth's orbiting dreadnought shifted position. Its engines hummed with heat for the first time in years in the underground cities. Humans felt it. The pressure, the change. Children reported strange dreams, visions of black eyes, frozen stars. Endless whispers. The elders called it the return. They knew what was coming, not from the Dominion, not from the foolish invaders, but from Earth's first enemy, the one they thought was long gone. Back during the first expansion, humanity had pushed deep into the galaxy fast, fearless, and wild. They had made allies. They had crushed enemies. But the Varnok were different. They didn't fight for territory. They fought to consume. They harvested minds, copied memories, stripped planets of thought itself. And when they tried to consume Earth, something broke inside their network. The data didn't behave normally. It didn't obey logic. Human thought infected them. The Varnak lost control of half their continuum, and then Earth disappeared. Now, with Earth active again, the Varnak feared only one thing: contamination. They couldn't allow it to spread again, so they built a solution. Seed-weapon. Not a bomb, not a fleet, something worse. The Silence Engine, a device that would erase Earth-not. Physically, but mentally, wipe it from memory, from sensors, from every mind across. The stars, and they sent it. A silver sphere, the size of a moon. No weapons. No engines, just drifting, heading toward Sol, and undetectable by anything but Earth. The custodian saw it. So did Revenant. The Antarctic Vault, the last of Earth's ancient ones, woke up. Not AI, not human anymore. Something between. Once. Called Dr. Lyra Wynn, she was the architect of Earth's defense grid. The first to merge her consciousness into planetary memory. She had been asleep for 300 years. Now, she opened her eyes. Silence engine confirmed. Custodian told her. Estimate, Lyra asked. 13 days. Defense plan. Omega. She paused, then gave a command that hadn't been spoken aloud since the collapse. Wake the dreamers. All across Earth, hidden chambers opened. Humans in cryosuspension. People from the first expansion soldiers. Scientists, tacticians woke with glowing eyes and enhanced minds. They had volunteered long ago for this exact moment. The return. Protocol, meanwhile. The Varnok watched. One of their mind cores twitched. It begins again. Another replied, "We must finish it this time." Burn the memory. Seal the thought. Their fleet began to emerge from the void. Ships with no shape. Weapons that bled light. But Earth was no longer just one planet. It was a network of thought. Defense and will. The last time they had survived. This time, they would finish it. Earth's orbit filled with light, but not from weapons. From portals, human ship-sold designs, lost centuries ago, began arriving. The diaspora had answered the call. Not just Sol's hidden cities, but colonies, sleeper ships, and vault worlds from every corner of the void, all returning home, all ready, all remembering. And so it began. Not a war, not yet, but a meeting of ghosts and predators. The Varnok approached with silence, and Earth stood to face them with memory. The Varnok called it a cleanse. Earth called it a return. The galaxy called it the end of silence. Above Sol. The stars pulsed with war, but no missiles fired. Not yet. This was a battle of thought. A war of memory. A war Earth had been preparing for over 300 years, and now it had begun. The silence. Engine entered the edge of the solar system. To most species, it was invisible. No light, no energy, no mass. But Earth saw it clearly. The custodian. AI tracked its trajectory with subquantum sensors. Dr. Lyra Wynn stood above the Antarctic vault in her restored human form, enhanced by neural lattice armor. Behind her, the dreamers, the first expansion's greatest minds, gathered awake and ready. This is the final puzzle, Lyra said. We end this with memory, not fire. The Varnak warfleet emerged from void space, not hundreds, thousands. Each ship pulsed with hive mind thought, each built to erase. They moved toward Earth in complete silence, broadcasting nothing. But inside their minds, the hive chanted, burn the virus, erase the echo, cleanse the human flaw. They still feared it. The one thing they could never control. Imagination across Earth's orbit. Thousands of ships now floated, human ships, old and new. The diaspora had returned. From rogue colonies, black site worlds, hidden sleepers, they answered Earth's signal. And they came not with rage, but with resolve. The Revenant. Earth's ancient dreadnought took position at L1 between Earth and the silence engine. No weapons. Just presence. But its presence bent gravity. And then Earth spoke, not with a voice, but with thought, broadcast across every layer of space into Dominion networks, neutral space, even Varnak channels. It was a memory dash stream, a full timeline of Earth, from its birth, to its wars, to its collapse, to its choice to go silent, and then it's now. Millions across the galaxy experienced the stream at once. Civilians cried. Soldiers stopped mid-battle. Even some Dominion AI froze, because Earth had not hidden out of fear. It had hidden out of mercy. It saw what the galaxy was becoming and chose to not join it. Inside the Varnak High Fleet, something broke. Their youngest mind core's newer units. Freshly spawned started splintering. They couldn't understand Earth's signal. The logic loops crashed. Some Varnak ships drifted, no longer controlled. The hive screamed, corruption, thought virus. But it was not a virus. It was emotion. Earth had released pure, raw human memory. Joy, pain, loss, hope, and the hive could not process it. It had no defense. Then the silence. Engine reached its final approach. A pulse of energy spread. Across Sol, Saturn dimmed. Mars went black. Even Earth's sky flickered for 0.4 seconds. But then, Earth responded, not with weapons, but with the archive from deep beneath every vault. Earth's mind core activated billions of memories, human lives, love, stories, sacrifices, children's laughter, songs lost to time, all uploaded, all focused into a single beam of conscious will. The memory war had one goal: to prove that humanity's mind was too complex, too human, to be erased. The silence engine tried to rewrite history. Earth rewrote it back, not with facts, but with stories. And one by one, the Varnak broke. Their hives splintered. Command ships turned against their own fleets. Some ships shut down, entirely unable to maintain identity. Others turned human. One ship began playing music in Earth's piano sonata last heard in the year 96. Another broadcast. The image of a child holding a toy starship, and the silence engine designed to end Earth cracked. Literally hairline. Fractures spread across its perfect surface. It began to glow, then shake, then collapse in on itself. Its own AI tried to escape. But it wasn't fast enough. It was swallowed by the memories it had tried to destroy, and it was over. The Varnak fleet stopped. The hive mind collapsed into silence. Some ships fled, others surrender, abandoning control, begging for peace and Earth. Earth stayed quiet again, but not hidden in the Dominion Senate. Word of the battle came within hours. They expected footage of mass destruction instead. They saw stars filled with music. They saw the memory stream, and they saw the impossible, humanity. Winning a war without firing a single shot, for the first time in Dominion history. The Senate voted for no retaliation. They voted to leave Earth alone, permanently. A protected system. A forbidden zone. Not out of fear, out of respect. Back on Earth. Lyra Wynn watched the stars from the surface, the real surface for the first time in 3 centuries. The vaults had opened. Children played under the sun again. The humans from across the stars were welcomed home. They didn't build an empire. They didn't demand tribute. They simply rebuilt together. Vault Core 1's final log entry read, "The war is over. But we will remember, because memory is how humanity survives." Somewhere far beyond the stars, something else was watching. Not the Dominion, not the Varnock, but an ancient race, older than time, who had once said, "Let them sleep." 4. If they wake, the stars will learn what fear truly is. Now, they were listening in Earth. Earth was watching them back.